The iPhone 16 and iOS 18 have been out for roughly a month now, and with this being my first device in almost 4 years, I figured this was the perfect time for me to set up my phone to be aesthetically pleasing and still super functional. Whether your goal is aesthetic minimalism or maximizing productivity, having your most used apps in easy to reach places is key to having your iPhone experience be seamless and efficient. Every phone user's experience starts at the lock screen. Now, with iOS 18, Apple has given us even more customization and more functionality. Starting with the bottom buttons, the camera and flashlight buttons are no longer statically set. You can set these to open apps or do different actions on your phone, and it's super simple to do. In my case, I have the bottom left set to be to Safari because if I want to open Safari for a quick Google search or to return to a tab, I can do it right from my lock screen and it's super convenient. Speaking of convenience, I have iMessage set because if I need to send a quick text message, I could use Siri or I could just use the phone and open it up right away. When it comes to widgets, I only have two widgets on my home screen. The first being the app called Latch, which is used to control my front door lock and my building and my parking garage. So you could see why I wouldn't want to have this on my home screen or set aside because I need access to it quickly to unlock my door. The last and final widget is Spotify. I use Spotify daily and I use it a lot. I listen to music all the time, and if I'm not feeling the vibe anymore, it's really easy for me to just tap on the Spotify widget and go and open Spotify and change my playlist instead of unlocking my phone, finding Spotify, and then changing the playlist. It's a lot of just convenience, but these are apps that I use all the time, and I think it's important to have quick access to them because why not save myself time? When I unlock my phone, I have two important widgets that I like to keep at the top. The first being the Reminders widget. The Reminders widget helps me keep my life organized and I can see any urgent action items that I need to complete today or throughout my week. The next widget I have is the Weather widget. The Weather widget allows me to see the temperature outside and it also allows me to prepare for weather throughout the day. Whether there's rain incoming or maybe a drop in temperature, I can bring the right gear with me when I'm out on the town. Getting into the apps, I keep only a few apps on my home screen as it's pretty minimal, but it's super effective. When it comes to the actual apps that are on my home screen, I keep all of my apps to one page. Start, I have this little folder that contains mostly utility items. Items like the calculator, settings, passwords, photos, the camera app, things that I use pretty frequently but don't use enough that would require it getting its own spot on my homepage. Moving on, I have Waze because I use Waze for my directions. I think it's better than Apple Maps. I like the UI more and has better notifications. In terms of other items on my home screen, obviously I have Gmail to check my email, even though now that I'm out of undergrad, I don't actually get very many important emails. It's mostly just getting notifications from places like my bank. And speaking of my bank, I have my Chase app. I use Chase for my checking account and doing most of my banking, so having the app right on my home screen, I can pull it up and check my bank account balance, transfer funds, or move money around with Zelle if I need to Zelle pay any friends for anything. Now, in terms of entertainment, I have four apps that I mainly use for entertainment. The first being ESPN. Now, I'm not a suburban dad, however, I do like to use ESPN to check up on college football scores and NFL scores during the weekend. And more importantly, on race weekends, I use ESPN to watch Formula One. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays usually consist of watching free practice and qualifying. And then on Sundays, usually it's the Grand Prix. It's something that my girlfriend and I have recently started watching together, and she's starting to get interested in it. So it's a fun way to spend the weekend, and it's a fun way to spend most Sunday mornings. In terms of other entertainment apps, I have Snapchat, which is mostly just used for keeping in contact with friends and some other group chats. Nothing super crazy. Instagram is a main social media for most people, I think. I use Instagram to mostly just browse right now, keep up on other people's lives, check up on what other tech YouTubers are creating content on, and I actually plan on making an Instagram for this channel some point soon. I've just really been focusing on getting good at making videos first, so let me know if you want to see that happen sooner rather than later. And then finally, for entertainment, I have YouTube. Now, I don't actually watch YouTube on my phone very often. I have an iPad, I have an Apple TV in my living room and bedroom, and I have my desktop computer. So pretty much anytime I want to watch YouTube, I watch it on a bigger screen. But if I am on the go and want to watch some quick content, maybe I'm at the airport or something, pulling out my phone is super simple and it's super convenient. I mainly use YouTube for checking up on analytics, stuff like video views and responding to comments. I like to respond to comments on my phone. I think it's quick and it's easy, and I could be at the gym or I could be sitting right here, and responding on my phone is super simple. With iOS 18 and the action button being implemented across all iPhone models this year, I think it's worth talking about. Now, having it set to just toggle silent mode on and off is somewhat useless, and you can do so much more with it. If you map the action button to a shortcut folder, it allows you to do so many more actions and still toggle silent mode on and off. I really enjoy using the action button this way, and I think it's way more productive, and you can get way more use out of your phone and have apps at your fingertips. The last couple things that I think are worth mentioning on an iPhone setup are, first off, Control Center. Control Center in iOS 18 has received a pretty good update. You can have multiple pages and customize them how you want it to do media playback or just toggle different things on your phone. Personally, I really only think you need one page still, as I only have like 5 toggles on my Control Center screen, plus some music control and screen brightness, so if you want to do multiple pages, go for it. However, I think you can keep it to one page and still be perfectly happy. The very last thing that I think is worth talking about is phone customization. Now, when it comes to app icons, you can look at custom app packs online and buy one, but I think iOS 18 has done a pretty good job of including dark mode apps and the tint. Now, my background is a white and blue gradient, and I love it. Having the apps in a tinted dark mode with a light blue to match the gradient looks super good, and I love it. I think it's way easier than going and finding a pack and setting up shortcuts for every single app, and it's way more convenient. I also like having the apps on large mode instead of small because it gets rid of the text and you only see icons, so the screen is super minimal, it's super clean, and you can recognize every app you have just by the logo, so it looks great and it feels great as well. With the launch of the iPhone 16 and iOS 18, I think it's great. iPhone is becoming more functional, and it's also becoming more aesthetically pleasing. The customization is nice to have, and it's been a long time coming. Overall, I love how my phone looks, and the refresh on my setup was a long time overdue. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and seeing what my setup looks like, and I hope you can go create your own personal setup that fits you. If you like the video, consider leaving a like, and if you like it even more, subscribe to the channel and look out for future videos. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.